Ice Cube has come out and given everybody some brutal truth, and there is a portion of this that just tells you everything that we've been telling you. This is just confirmation. And what's hilarious is this is confirmation from the people that want to pay the money. Sponsors. Oh man,
Angel Reese is on a downward spiral. Following a surge of excitement that reached the realm of major endorsements, the crash is now taking place in real time. Those flashy brand partnerships are eroding one by one. Additionally, the pushback is becoming unbearably loud. The so-called Babu Barbie just hit a marketing wall. Thanks to Ice Cube's direct criticism and admirers who formerly applauded but are now disparaging her brand, and the vicious turn, everything fell apart when Caitlin Clark snatched her city while she was sitting on the bench. Taking center stage, if you concur that Caitlin is the attraction, please leave a comment.
Sorry, Angel Reese, the $5 million offer was only for Caitlin Clark. Fuck. It's about to get ugly. With the Big Three's $5 million offer to Caitlin Clark never coming to fruition, could a lucrative Angel Reese proposal be up next for the Hoops League? Tell me you don't know ball. I mean, honestly, don't count on it.
Angel was positioned as the WNBA's golden ticket, the face of a new era, the influencer queen. The well-known companies were drooling. However, the script changed more quickly than anyone anticipated. The headlines began to change. The business community's whispers became silent terror. The dream is now collapsing directly in front of us. Suddenly, brands that were pleading to join the Angel Reese industry are ignoring the discussion.
What happened to Miss Angel Reese? She's all in Indiana during All-Star, and her Reebok campaign, come to your trap, take over.
Trap. Chaos reigns behind the scenes. Significant campaigns connected to Ree. Some have already delved further into planning. Some for an indeterminate period of time, and others for no reason at all. After analyzing the information, agencies are reaching a chilly conclusion. The story is not supported by the numbers. The results don't live up to the expectations. What caused this abrupt reckoning? An appearance
Personal, but it was business. That's all it is, business.
Even though there was just one interview, the consequences was devastating. Cube wasn't nuanced. When asked why he only plays in the Big Three leagues, he responded surgically when he offered Caitlin Clark a $5 million deal instead of Angel Reese or anybody else. Regarding Angel Reese, they didn't state that. Translation. There was no biting from the sponsors. They thought Caitlin had the ability to make a difference. Angel was not even mentioned. He declared, "I'm not in the business."
For Ice Cube, they're about to come and get Ice Cube. We know how this works.
Business of losing money. And the curtain fell in an instant. More impactful than any tabloid headline was that single sentence. Why would any corporate executive bet on Angel Reese if someone with Ice Cube's economic acumen and cultural influence isn't? This is more than just a tale of a chance loss.
This is confirmation from the people that want to pay the money.
It has to do with a collapsing view. Additionally, perception and branding is crucial. Boardrooms were chilled by Cubs' remarks. Nearly all of the calls could be heard. Are we actually moving this Angel Reese rollout along? Her confidence started to fade subtly, professionally, but unquestionably not because she lacks talent, but rather because the outcomes didn't live up to the social media hype. On the other hand, is completely.
TMZ Sports caught up with Ice Cube himself at LAX this week, and the Big Three honcho said that there will be no deal put in front of Angel Reese.
Different. When the Big Three presented the offer of $5 million, it wasn't a dangerous game. It was an investment supported by data. 10 games each worth $500,000. And you know what? It was anticipated that every penny would return with interest. When you are a certified draw, that is what takes place. Someone who ensures revenue, views, and ticket sales. Clark is a source of income. Reese isn't even contracts and hypotheticals.
He didn't tell us the same thing about Angel Reese.
Took over the city of Chicago, and this is the star power that Ice Cube was referring to. Every city, every state, anywhere in the world that she goes.
In reality, Clark was in Chicago Angels turf at the time, transforming the city into her own fan parade. Remember that even though she was sidelined and injured, she was still drawing thousands of people to the streets and calling her name as if she were Jordan's second coming. Angel, meanwhile, is nowhere in sight. Her previously audacious Reebok campaign was becoming quieter. Furthermore, one fan stated rather plainly that Clark didn't simply fall into the trap. It belonged to her. Angel Reese is looking down. The hype is short-lived.
Caitlin Clark went to Chicago and took the city over. It looked like she took the city over. CC with MJ. CC get treated like MJ in the rack. Oh my.
Additionally, when the suit's responsible for Caitlin Clark outperforms everyone, including the person who was meant to be her rival, when multi-million-dollar budgets sit down and look at the real numbers on reach, retention, and conversion, the outcomes are quite different. This is the result of marketing a player before they have demonstrated their ability to stick around. When you
actually feel bad for Angel Reese at this point, and it has nothing to do with like how she's handled herself or anything. It's just simply Caitlin Clark is so much better than Angel Reese at basketball that it doesn't feel fair.
Yeah, I think Angel Reese is struggling with the fact that Caitlin Clark is better at her best thing than she is.
She's better at everything.
And
she did a triple-double. She's tied for the third most triple-doubles in WNBA history, and she's played 50 games.
Yeah.
And found long-term value followers. When you believe that being trendy will always convert into money, it's a myth. The industry is quickly realizing that. The unraveling has started now. It's not too loud. It isn't disorganized.
Wow, I'm not sure any other single, outside of just the pure numbers that we keep showing people.
However, it is taking place. Interest in the brand is declining. No one is responding to emails. There are no new transactions in Horizon. The fact that Ice Cube didn't even pursue Angel is what hurts the most. He simply spoke the truth. This fact is reflected in every boardroom where ROI is important and budgets are constrained. Intended to be the main attraction and the main attraction. However, she now appears to be more of a...
I understand your place sometime. Look, they talking about Caitlin Clark took over Angel Reese's trap. See, this is why you don't need to keep trying to take shots at her. She took the city over.
Case study. Under excessive exposure? Additionally, Caitlin Clark rolls into Chicago and sets the city on fire as she observes the momentum ebbing away. This takeover was not silent. There was an all-out fan frenzy.
Not to mention that Clark wasn't even wearing a uniform.
Nevertheless, the city still crowned her. Chicago was taken over by Caitlin Clark. She spent hours signing autographs. The actors who appeared in the scene were not paid extras. No, these were actual people attempting to sign autographs because Caitlin's actions that week went beyond merely stealing the show. It completely altered the WNBA's marketing environment. She altered the story instead of simply beating it. Buildings were surrounded by crowds, and some were skipping work to have a look. She was dubbed Queen of the Rack by the internet. It stuck because it was genuine, not just because it was catchy. Chicago is the largest Barbie and the Queen of the Rack. In the meantime, Angel had the social media presence, brand tins, and slogans. Clark, however, possessed an item that is impossible to produce. Genuineness. People relate to her. Come to her aid, and sponsors are pursuing that. I mean, aside from the reality that an LSU arena cannot hold even half as many people, even worse. Angel began to vanish at the same time as Caitlin's fame was taking off. She is categorized as dubious at first, then as daily. And while there is no denying that back injuries are severe, supporters are not naive. The timing seemed ideal. Naturally, a flurry of speculation followed. Was she trying to avoid the comparison? In the spotlight? I'm not sure how you could possibly think of a way to compete with this. For example, consider the optics. Huge audiences are drawn by Caitlin Clark, while Angel Reese sits on the bench. One saw skyrocketing ratings, while the other saw stillness. Brands are uneasy with this kind of contradiction. and they began murmuring fans. Some believe that her team suggested a calculated disappearance. She didn't want the heat, according to others. And really, who could blame her in the viral media world of today? It would be impossible for Angel Ree to attract enough viewers for the league and sponsors to make that deal. The business staff at Ice Cub had already realized what was going on. They observed a noticeable decline in Angel Reese's involvement behind the scenes. Reduced energy, reduced chatter, and fewer clicks. That is not a mild indication in the world of endorsements, the size of an arena scoreboard. It is a blinking red alert. We sat down and looked at the actual figures, and the draw wasn't there. Ice Cub is stating rather simply, there wasn't any fever. I didn't mean to pun it here. The raw data is the main focus. Just statistics, no nonsense. Additionally, the numbers are screaming. The sales of Caitlin Clark's jerseys are dominating the charts like a freight train, regardless of the zip code. She plays at sold-out arenas, crowded homes, and other venues. The league average for television ratings is 2 to 3 times higher. Additionally, don't assume that this is merely a gathering of Indiana fans. It's also taking place on the road. It's in every city she travels. She is the main attraction. Superstar Caitlin Clark is not a female celebrity. She's a superstar. We Caitlin Clark's performance was the reason we were there. She makes a difference. Someone who pushes the needle is what the WNBA has been searching for. Without a doubt, Angel Reese's name is still recognizable. Although she has a tremendous personality and the potential to be a star, let's not act as though her numbers are comparable. Although not remarkable, her jersey sales are acceptable. The arena was only half full for LSU's so-called homecoming game against Brazil. Furthermore, her influence doesn't change the society or the numbers the way Caitlin Clark's does if there isn't any drama or viral controversy to stir things up. You're not able to measure up. You don't have as many Instagram followers as you do. That's fantastic. You are one of the more well-known brands in the WNBA. I won't deny that. Numbers don't lie, but men and women do. Nobody wants to take chances when it comes to signing large checks. They are looking for outcomes. Caitlin Clark also succeeds. The narrative is over. The most important question at hand is whether Angel's public presence and headline stunts are enhancing her brand or undermining it. The answer is becoming increasingly obvious in the wake of Ice Cub's mic drop incident and Chicago's crowd fury. Angel is currently dealing with more than simply a work-related setback. An identity spiral is in full swing. Not the kind of entertaining film where everything ends happily in a cupcake store. This is the harsh kind when storylines begin to spiral out of control. Public interest declines, and brands disappear. Is Angel Reese when Caitlin Clark isn't part of the conversation? It's a question that people are now genuinely asking. Angel, please just let it go. In truth, there is no comparison between you two, which is why I think you are making yourself look insane. That goes beyond simple podcast chatter or Twitter rumors. That is a serious critique from sports media, fans, and commentators alike. It's not simply that Angel brings up Caitlin Clark all the time. She seemed to be attached to her. Everything always comes back to Clark every post, interview, and subtle jabbing. That's when things start to go wrong. You're good enough to stand on your own now, so why don't you? Said one astute YouTuber. And that sums up the whole situation. Angel Ree is not just a benchamer who reads headlines. She is a marketable athlete, a champion, and a starter. However, each time she positions herself against Clark, she is indicating that the attention is insufficient until Caitlin's shadow is also present. Many people claim that Caitlin Clark makes a difference. That's incorrect. The needle is her. She gives orders. We are all aware of her actions on the floor, isn't it history? But my gosh, off the floor. And this is the point at which the wealthy begin to retreat. Buzz is important to brands, but stability is more important to them. They don't want chaos to go viral. They're looking for steady returns. Companies signed up expecting a steady burn, but now she's bringing fireworks. There was more to that Reebok arrangement than just a contract. There was a significant shift from consistency to charisma. Rather than focusing on court performance, it was a complete investment in image. The entire situation is beginning to smell like a misfire now that the ROI isn't keeping up with the noise. She has formally stepped into your trap and taken control of it, so you should cease attempting to hook up with her at every opportunity. Sponsors are not involved in disappearances. They desire progress, presence, and dependability. Instead of stars that flash, battle, and then fade out, they want stars that remain blazing. Angel will continue to watch possible agreements fall apart before they ever reach the table. She can't figure out how to reinvent herself beyond the anti-Caitlin Clark character. It's not over though, let's be clear, not even close. Losing money as a business. Naturally, Angel Ree was not able to receive the 5M like Caitlin Clark. If Angel Ree quits playing the comparison game and begins to embrace her true self, there is yet hope for a return. An arc about redemption is just waiting to be written. Since no one disputes her talent, voice, or flair, the devoted admirers love to unite. However, she should quit comparing herself to someone she was never meant to compete against in the first place. It should have been a huge day for your networks and advertisers. And that literally brings us to the million-dollar question. Now what? Does Angel directly face the heat? Does she talk about the disappearing sponsorships, the missed games, and the waning partnerships? Or, like last year, does she go dark, let the season pass, and then quietly vanish? Because the silence is so overwhelming right now. Events canceled, frequent absences due to injuries, and delays in brand launches. All of this paints a picture and not a positive one. Here's the blueprint then. Angel must clear the stage, stop the drama, abandon the Barbie versus basketball queen performance, concentrate on the game, and let her skill set take center stage if she hopes to make a comeback. Side comments and subtweets are not what fans are. Hankering after? They're looking for real hoopers. Since she does both, Caitlin Clark is currently indulging. Angel is capable of getting there as well, but not if she is always attempting to outshine someone who is playing an entirely different game. Able to be truthful. What you want people to say must